Hello, in this video we're going to be looking at creating an Oracle12c database using Database Configuration Assistant on Windows 8.1. First of all, launching Database Configuration Assistant. Let's have a look how we do that. So here we are. Configuration Assistant, and we'll launch that. Now I'm not going to wait for that to launch, it takes a few minutes, so I'm going to go back to some pre-prepared screens. And when we've launched Configuration Assistant, this is our first screen, and we want to create a database, and that one's been given to us by default. And the next one, we need to put in a few details to create the database. We need to put in a global database name. We need to select the storage type, which is either file system or ASM, or automatic storage management. In this case, we're going to use a file system based storage, so just simple files on in the Windows file system. We also need to add administrator passwords and confirm, and an Oracle password, which is the user that I'm installing the database as, and also name a pluggable database. And then these are the details that I've added in. So my naming convention, just home global database 1, global database name, HMGDB1, single instance, and with one pluggable database whose name is HMPDB1. Some more default values. And then we select, let's go back to the previous screen, we select finish here, and we can see how we're progressing, and when we're finally done we'll be presented with this screen which shows us what we have. So we've been given database created. Check the log at this location, global database name here, the SID is the same, server parameter file created here, so the SP file is here, and we've also been given a URL for the Enterprise Manager Database Express, which is provided by default, and that's located on default port 5500. We'll see how we run that shortly. Now, before we can look at Enterprise Manager, we need to have a listener running. So I'm going to launch Oracle Net Configuration Assistant, and I'll just show you where that is again by skipping out to the desktop. I'm going to find it from here. Okay, database, network configuration. Yes, I want to launch it. And there we go, the first screen. I'm going to cancel and go back to my prepared slides. And there we are. So we've seen how we launch Configuration Assistant, and we want to create a listener, which is the option that's been given to us. Click Next. and we'll accept the default name for the listener and give it a password. Click Next. Accept the protocol TCP, which is the default given to us, and Next. And use the standard port number 1521. Next. Want to configure another one? No. And Next. And back to the beginning. And finish. Now the listener is running. We can try and launch Enterprise Manager, and that's the URL that we were given at the end of the database installation. So let's have a look at creating that, or at running that. So we'll launch it with Google Chrome. Kicking off Google Chrome now. And here's a link that I've created. That is, so we're getting a bit of trouble here with this not liking the certificate that we have for this service. I'll go to Advanced and have a look what it says. Well, I know this is a good service, so I'm going to proceed regardless of possible dangers that may present themselves. And we're going to log in as sys and give it the password as sysdba and log in. So there we are. We have some pretty graphics to prove that we've actually done something. We have a single instance database with the container and one pluggable database. Database name HMGDB1. Some details here. Can have a look at the activity. It's pretty low, nothing's happening. Look at the host CPU, nothing much happening on my machine. Active sessions and the memory being used. And we also have some other options we can have a look at. Performance and configuration. Look at memory, for example. So we've got memory management is auto. This is the SGA 2.2 gigabytes and PGA target is 737 and limited to 2 gigabytes. Now we can go back to the first screen. And if we want to look at the details for our database, for our pluggable database, or rather the container, we can click here. And we can see details for our pluggable database, and nothing much happening here. Okay, so we've created our Oracle database in 12c, so one container database and one pluggable database, and we've launched our Enterprise Manager console and just to prove that we have a connection to the database. That's the end of this presentation.